arguably, depending on the Christians you ask today, I was never a real Christian because I didn't actually have the fundamentals. But I'll let my audience here be the judge of that, especially as we look at our next clip. Here we go.
Is faith as a process for arriving at something to be true with 100% certainty the most reliable way to get to that point?
Reliable in what sense, I guess?
Reliable to the point where you would be 100% certain that it was true.
I guess the best way to put it is, faith is such a personal thing. So it's going to be different for everybody. If it's 100% true to you, then I think you have every right to believe that. Because ultimately, there's only so much we can do to prove the existence of God or of any religion, really.
Hey, did you get it back?
Okay.
True to you, Dan?
True to me.
Dan going subjective.
Faith relativism, baby.
Wow.
I saw your friend kind of. If you watch the clip again, and I hope everybody takes a chance to takes the time to go back and watch the full video. Your friend kind of gives you this look. He's kind of like, yeah, okay. Like he kind of looks at
Yeah, maybe I wasn't a real Christian. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe this is something that other Christians would disagree on. Because I mean, I did see faith. I still think it's true that religious beliefs are personal, but I would disagree with myself now in saying that. Well, that doesn't mean that they're not left up for observation. You were asking me, I think, in that moment, what about my beliefs are, observational to the point of like how can I be confident in the certainty of my beliefs?
Yeah. I think I was focused on the reliability of your method, which I think you had identified probably obliquely as calling it faith. And that's how you could say you're 100% sure. It's been a while since I've actually watched the whole thing too. So I don't remember. But when you think about it, you gave a subjective definition of faith, and that's often how theists are really using it. Because you can use faith in a subjective way to make it true to you. But, because I think, largely view truth objectively today, or you probably do, I would imagine, that it becomes a little bit shocking to hear a theist say it. But honestly, when you talk to a lot of theists, that's often how they're using faith. It's a very personal decision, and it's this trust that I've decided to put into this claim, and now I'm so sure that it's true.
In most of my conversations with Christians, excluding the ones with apologists, I have found this to be the case. Like the underlying assumption is faith is kind of this thing that you really can't touch, that it's just kind of, something that's there. It's something that they can believe. And you just kind of know. You just kind of know whether it's personal experience or, usually it is personal experience. For me, it was personal experience. But like, I think it's true for all, like, I don't want to be broad and say the majority because I don't know that, but it's got to be a lot. Like it's got to be at least, I don't know, a third, a fourth, right? Like it just just based on my upbringing, and I don't know, I guess I'm using a personal experience argument, right? But at the same time, like I was in this world, and like that's what I saw. I obviously came to this conclusion somehow, right? Like I obviously. That came from something. So yeah, I think that was a reflection of the culture that I was brought up at least. But, Christians will disagree on that. They'll say, oh, no, faith is something we can know, certainty through historical evidences and something like that. But that wasn't me. That wasn't how I viewed my own Christianity. So
it's kind of like one of those things you just grow up knowing. It's like, I know my ABCs. It was taught to me from birth. My parents use the ABCs every day, and it works. Like I can spell words now, and I can do this and this. You do kind of the same thing with faith. It's just like everybody around me believes it. When I pray for certain things and I talk to my community who also believes this, certain things happen. And where people kind of fall off the train, according to religious communities, it's going to be more because you didn't do things a certain way. Or, that there's all sorts of different reasons. But it is something that you just grow up with, and you grow up knowing that it's true, just like the ABCs or math or anything else.
However, I think you also grow up being told that it's virtuous to employ faith or to have faith.
Yes.
It's a noble thing to do. It's not something to shy away from. You embrace it. You're told that you should take these things on faith, and you're directed to stories in the book where it talks about how faith comes into play. So it doesn't have the stigma that it probably should, but most people don't, I think, realize it until they're questioned on it respectfully to explore with them.
Right. I was definitely taught this idea that faith is like one of the most important things to have. It's important, like not just important for your relationship with God or whatever, but like for your own like moral compass, even like, because my understanding of Christianity was that of a moral philosophy as well as a belief system. Like I did not fully understand how someone could be good without being a Christian. Like those concepts were so intermingled together for me.
That's
that
interesting.
I had no way of separating that until later. And the faith was a part of that. Faith was a virtue, right? And you're right. There's tons of stories of the Bible where that is kind of the case. So
yeah, this whole idea of the morality underlying the moral underpinnings of the belief, and how it's probably important to address those too when you're exploring these, because you can probably help a person realize that faith, as they're defining it, is unreliable and they don't have any good reasons. But there's that last component that I'm good because I think that this is true. And if I don't think that it's true, how can I be good? You really have to address that. And one of the ways, of course, is what you guys are doing here on these shows. You're normalizing non-belief, and you're saying it's okay to not believe. And if we can destigmatize, if we can let people see that you can still be good without a God, all that other stuff, as we see how fragile it is in these type of SE conversations, that's a really big one. And if we can overcome that, and we have hordes of people just politely engaging with others using this approach, we're going to make huge inroads. We will do it. It's just a matter of getting people aware of it and comfortable doing this.
Yeah. And I mean, all three of us are here because we feel like we understand the deep implications of having these kinds of conversations. Just saying, how do you know that? When somebody says something that you don't understand, how do you know? With the foundation of good rapport and being honest in your conversations, how do you know that is like the best question. It's kind of like a mature, I was thinking about this the other day. It's a mature version of why. We're just basically adult kids saying, well, why? Okay, why? And I mean, it's the most important thing. And if the recent events over the past few weeks have taught us anything, whether it's, your uncle believes a conspiracy theory and they're willing to die for it or kill for it or, incite violence for it. I mean, these kinds of questions are paramount to civilization in a way on the grander scale.
and even if not questioning somebody is going to lead to the road to radicalization towards violence or something, right? Like let's say Anthony never talked to me, and I don't know whether I would have been an atheist sooner or later based on that conversation, but I consider it a stepping stone for my path, at least. I could be stuck in something that isn't giving me a full life satisfaction because I didn't have somebody that challenged me to question that because I couldn't have come to those conclusions on my own. And so some people, when we talk about SC, the criticism is, oh, why are you bothering people? Just leave them alone. And like you're saying, Ben, if the last 2 weeks haven't shown anything, it's people are going to believe things whether we like it or not, and they're going to act on those beliefs whether we like it or not. So I'd rather preemptively challenge people on what I think at least is important to know, right? Than to just let it alone. And like I said, let faith just be this personal thing, because beliefs inform actions. And that is going to either help or hurt people at the end of the day. So I'm glad that we're having these conversations, and I'm quite proud. I'm quite proud that we have the privilege to do what we do.